Hello, I'm Dennis Perlmeyer, and I've been a carpenter and done home maintenance repairs for 25 some odd years. Today I'm going to show you how to hang drywall on a wall that the walls are crooked. It's not necessarily this framed wall isn't crooked, but this wall here is out of plumb. So if you start out with an 8-foot piece and you're going to lay it horizontally, the top piece is going to go up fine. You'll have a little crack back here, but by the time you get to the bottom piece, where you end up at the 8 foot, you're going to be off of the, if you're going to be up against that wall where you don't have a big gap, you're going to be off your stud. So what you do to remedy that is we're going to start from the opposite end and cut ourselves short. So we're going to just come to here, and it's 7 feet something. So then we can cut the board off a little crooked and make up the difference. And then that way it'll come out, you won't have a big gap at each end. So let's get our first piece cut, and it is going to be .89 and about 3/8 of an inch at the top. Then we're going to come down 4 feet. And see, this wall is actually out of plumb too. You can really see it. If you want to zoom in, of course, we've got a 1/2 inch because we're out. If you look down, it's this wall. I had to stay in line with the existing wall when I framed this up. But you can see the gap difference. I mean, I can stick my hand in it down here, or up here, you can't. And the reason that is because this wall is out of plumb. But in order to stay straight with the doorway, I had to make it out of plumb because the existing wall was out of plumb. So I measured down 4 feet here and measured down 4 feet here, and then I'll get a measurement. And it's 90 and about 1/8 of an inch. Okay, so now we're going to cut our piece of drywall, and then we'll hang it up. Okay. Something I forgot to mention, when I got this bottom measurement before, it was 90 and 1/8. Well, we need to take a 1/2 inch off because of this drywall sticking out a 1/2 inch. So it ended up being 89 and 5/8. My little assistant's going to help me get this first piece up there. Just hold it in place. Put you a few screws in it to get started to hold it up there. And I always come down about 3 inches from the ceiling. It kind of gives it a little bit of give a little bit so that when the house moves and expands and contracts, it'll kind of go with it. And I'd also gone ahead and put some marks up on the ceiling so that I know where my studs are. And then once I get the rest of it hung up, then I'll come back and put the rest of the screws in. And I like to put them about every 8 inches. Okay, next we're going to do this next piece. And again, this wall is out of plumb. This wall's out just a little bit. So we're going to have a little bit different measurement. We got about 64 and 1/8 or so. and 63 3/4. 64 1/8 and 63 3/4. Our measurement was 63 3/4 at the top and 64 1/8 at the bottom. Your square is not going to sit on there just right because it's not square, so you're going to want to kind of hold it with your foot a little bit. And I like to make about 3 scores. A lot of people just do it once and let it be. You just bring it out a little bit and turn it. Oop. Get that piece out of our way, and we're ready to hang this piece. Yeah, you want to come over and help me? Nice tight fit. Okay, for this next piece, we've got an outlet in here, and then also it's not quite 8 feet. So a 4-foot wide piece is not going to fit in there. So we're going to cut it off at 47 inches wide. And then we need to get our measurement so that we can get our box in there. We're going to measure the top and the bottom first. And the top is about 90 1/8. The bottom is 90 5/8. You don't got to worry about that 1/2 inch on this piece because you don't have that up there in the way. And then we're going to measure over for the box. And the box is going to be 59 5/8 and 61 and a little better than 5/8. And then you're going to measure down. And it's always easier to just either write this stuff down or have somebody write it down. I've got my wife over here actually writing it down for me so I remember. Then we've got 34 and 37 5/8. What you need to remember is that when you measure this out, you don't want to measure this because I measured, a lot of people make this mistake. I measured from back there and I came out this way. That's not the way you want it to measure. You want to measure from the finished end, the factory cut, back, because that's where we're actually getting our measurement to. And so we're going 90 1/8. And 90 5/8. And we're going to measure 47 inches down. You can either use your square to cut this bottom piece off or chalk a line across, but I'm just going to use my square, it's easier. Get me I lay it on the floor because it just makes it easier for me to get my measurements and cut it. You know, the professionals, they'll stand it up, but where this is crooked, it's just a whole lot easier just to lay it on the ground and cut it out, especially if you don't do this all the time for a living. And the reason I did that is because to get our measurement for our box, you go ahead and get your cut in there, and we're about, we're going to say 12 inches off the ground to the center of that box. So we're going to go up about 12 inches, and your tape measure should just about fit in there. You might hold it up, and that's going to give us our, what was our measurement? 61 5/8. What I do is I mark on each side of the tape. That kind of gives me something to go by. And then we're going to measure down. 34 even.
37
So making the two marks kind of gives you something to line it up on. And now I'm going to cut my lengthwise. You set your square up. Stand it up, cut my end off. Lay it down, flip it over. Get my drywall saw. And now we're ready to hang it up there. There's your block. And what I like to do is I like to get a little block of wood, little pry bar. They do have a tool that you can buy that's got a little leg on it that'll help lift the drywall up, but if you don't want to go to that expense, I've got a flat bar. Just gives you, you go towards you. I can. Oops. Good there? Are you in the corner? Our box is off just a little bit now. We can trim that out. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. Got a nice fit now. Good screw in the bottom. See how nice that fits now? Okay. And that's pretty much there is to it. I know there's some little problems with it, but you're going to come up with those, especially if you don't do this kind of stuff all the time. And like I say, they do have a tool, a roto tool, that will you hang your drywall on there. But I've been in so many houses that drywallers have come in and they've done it that way, and then they forget where the box is at. Then you're missing an outlet somewhere. But anyways, this is the way I do it. I've done it this way for a long time. But then you just finish it out and go on with the next of them. Thank you.